connected to the mailbox? White balances, everything good? All right, Coach, we'll open it up with a opening statement. Just your thoughts on this week so far in the Sugar Bowl.
We're excited to be here. Our players are very excited. As soon as we heard the announcement where we were going, they've been excited ever since. The destination is fantastic, and the opponent we have a lot of respect for. It's a great opportunity to show a lot of people how good of football we play at UTSA against a great opponent in Troy.
Coach, just talk a little real quick about, what does this bowl mean to you? Cancer, this bowl trying to raise money for funds, and they really put their name behind their cause.
Yeah, well, we've all been affected by cancer. There's not anybody in here that hasn't been, whether it's friend or relative, whatever it might be. And that's what all sports are about. It's playing for a cause that's larger than you. It's get you out of the way, and that's what this bowl's about. It's a larger cause. In saying that, it always causes, those emotions because it reminds you of somebody you lost, and it reminds you of how quick life is and how silly a game is, but how great a game is because it brings so many people together to play for a larger cause. Lost my dad yesterday, so it's one of those moments, where you're torn because you want to be home, because you feel like you should be home, and my mom's back home, and my baby brother's back home taking care of her. So there's a lot of things that go through when you talk about death and cancer. So it's not what my father died of, but still death is painful, and cancer is painful.
Sorry to relax, Coach, a little bit for questions right here on the right.
Yes, condolences, Coach, and thank you for being with us today. With that in mind, heading into this game, I asked Coach Summerall about this too. Overall, you two represent the first pairing in the Cure Bowl where both teams are CFP ranked. Have kind of a situation where there's a bit more parity, it feels like, in college football. Do you think that's the case, and if so, why do you think that is?
I thought John had a great answer when you asked him that. Kids nowadays know there's a lot of ways to get to the National Football League, and they all dream of playing there. And none of us got on a team to sit on the bench. We all want to play. So there's a lot of opportunities right now in college football with the transfer portal, which I see as a good thing. You should be recruiting your own kids every day anyway. When did that become so eye-opening, right? I remember I got hired to coach these kids, 3 years ago, almost to the day. And the very first thing I told them was, they didn't pick me. I chose them, right? It's my job to win them over. So luckily, 3 of those guys that were in that meeting are still sitting right back there, and they make me look really smart almost every Saturday. So I think John had a great answer. I kind of piggyback off of his.
Coach, really sorry about what happened with your father.
Thank you.
I really, truly, and it's hard because this is so public, yet it's so personal. Was there any thought about not coaching this game?
Yeah. Dr. Campos asked me as soon as she saw me, is I okay? And I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. My brother's on staff. He's got 4 children that are younger. My nephew's on staff. And my brother almost went back. He coached our offensive line. He was packed up and ready to go. And I wasn't far behind, and my mom was just like, there's no way I'm letting y'all come home when y'all are at Universal. Those 4 kids are gonna get to go experience that. And I know my father, he would not want us to come home. He would feel terrible. My baby brother still lives back in East Texas. He's flying up Thursday. Who knows, she might jump on that plane. I don't know if she's gonna go down there or not. But I know she's gonna be watching these press conferences because she likes to get mad at Greg and JJ because they're so mean to me all the time.
How inspirational was your father? And then with your mother, how inspirational is she?
Both lifetime educators. My father was a 40-year band director, believe it or not, and a principal. I have no music skills whatsoever. My mother was a 40-year educator. She was the best teacher in the school for 40 years and got paid as the same as the worst one, right? So it's always been a pet peeve of mine. they're powerful in my life. My dad had a larger than life personality. I love to sing, love to eat, love to tell jokes. And I can't sing or tell jokes. I can eat, but I can't sing or tell jokes. And he had a stroke back in February, and he hasn't been the same since. I'm relieved that he's in a much better place now, and he's out of his misery and his pain, and for my mother as well. All she's wanted to do is take care of my father her entire life, and that's all she's been doing.
Did he love football?
He only loved me and Kurt and Andy because we played it. He did play, and he was decent at it, I've heard, but his love was music. And he could play every instrument in the band, and could sing like unbelievable. I can promise you he's singing The King's Coming right now, and he's been at it pudding and telling jokes. He's doing fine.
I noticed your career, you spent a lot of time coaching high school football and everything. Were your parents kind of that example to work in the school system, or was it just your path?
No, I was lucky enough to be hired back at the same high school where I graduated from. That's kind of where I got my career off the ground and running. And my mother still taught when I was there, and I think darn near the entire payroll was trailers, it seemed like. Gilmer's very special to me in my heart. That's where I was raised. That's where my dad was a principal and mother's a teacher. All three of us boys graduated from there. I've always wanted to be a ball coach. I don't know where that came from since the age of 2. I tell my kids all the time, most coaches become coaches because they had to be coaches. I actually chose to be one. I could have done a lot of other things. I just always wanted to coach. I love kids. I've always thought the football is the greatest metaphor of life. Those kids, well, those three back there are pretty easy to control, but most of those kids, it's that ball that motivates them to go to class and be gentlemen. It's not me. I don't have some kind of magic, spell over them. They just know they want that ball, right? So that ball, when used correctly, can change young men's lives, which change future generations, which is why we all got into coaching to begin with.
Coach, over here on your right, Melissa Thomas from Florida National News.
Hello, Melissa.
Hey, how you doing? Again, sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
But does this provide an extra fuel for you in instilling those principles in your guys leading into Friday's game?
No, that's always what we're about. I mean, it's nothing different. I know that's a great story, it would be a great angle, but there's nothing different. My dad's gonna love me, whether we go out there and beat Troy or we lose to Troy. That's what's great about having a dad. And today in our team meeting, we spoke on dads today, and I asked all of them what was their greatest memory of their dad, the ones that have passed, and what their memory of their dads that are alive. And one of my toughest kids, Brendan Brady, our running back that's been injured, that will not get to play in the game, he said about his dad, that it was crazy, but it's the same as my dad. He's like, my dad is my biggest fan. No matter what, he's my biggest fan. And it was ironic, because that's the one thing I can say about my father. No matter what, he's my biggest fan. Other than my mom. I know she's watching this.
Coach, since you have a heavy heart, is it a positive, I guess, being here this week, being with your entire team, being with Dr. Campos, people just kind of, I guess, to serve a little bit as a distraction?
There's no doubt, but my players know this about me as well. The kids have always been the best part of my day. It's the adults that always drive me nuts. Kids are wonderful. When I'm with them, I'm golden. And when you're at practice and you're focused and we're trying to get a certain blitz pickup done correctly, or we're trying to get a certain pressure done correctly, your mind's not quite there, and it kind of just distracts you. So there's no doubt, but those kids are always what makes me go.
And if I can follow up, being that it is a Cure Bowl and what it stands for, and being what Bryce means to San Antonio and UTSA football, and probably the United States really, does it put a little more emphasis than this week on this game because of what it stands for?
Yeah, Diana reached out to me. I even spoke to Rashad about it. Bryce and my father both were similar in that aspect. Their smiles were the biggest in the room, their laughter. So I'm sure Bryce Wisdom and Billy Traylor are just having a blast talking about how fat Rashad is and how fat I'm getting right now.
You know, Coach, you mentioned all the distractions that you're facing. There's a Kyle Nash with a 3-point conversion, by the way. Apologies, I didn't introduce myself first.
Nice to meet you.
With all the distractions you're dealing with, you also have a very talented team looking across from you. Unique in that they're a team that came out winning games defensively and then came out later winning games by scoring 34 or more points. From a coaching perspective, when you see a team kind of change an identity like that when you're about to face them, what challenges does that provide in preparation?
Well, you said they're the 8th ranked defense in the country, so that's where it starts. And offensively, they've been a very complimentary offense the entire year. They've gotten hot at the right time of year. You can tell John has instilled a belief and a confidence in those kids. You can tell they love him. You can tell he's also a great grass coach on the field. His kids run great schemes. I got to meet John this summer. He was trying to hire an offensive coordinator. Joe Craddock's a good friend of mine. He called me about Joe, and I got to speak to John quite a bit, off and on, many hours this summer. I could tell John was very thorough. I could tell he cared about his kids. It does not surprise me that he's turned that program back around that quickly. We have a lot of respect for them, and very similar teams. They got off to a start like we did, rough losses early, and both of us got hot, and have come in here. We both squeaked through some games, and we both played really well and got away from some opponents. So, 2 very similar opponents.
Any other questions?
Jeff, for a lot of these guys who are going through their final games at UTSA this weekend, how have you seen them kind of handle the emotions of that moment and going through this week?
It means a lot. Adrian, all of us have talked about it. We have an opportunity to be a top 25 team for the first time in the history of our school. We have an opportunity to finish in the top 25 for the first time in the history of our school. We have an opportunity to win a bowl game for the first time in the history of our school. That's 3 pretty big deals. So our seniors are extremely motivated to leave on a good note.
Jeff, I think today's graduation at UTSA, you have a handful of guys that were supposed to graduate. What does it mean that they're here instead of going through that? That's a big part of the journey of a young man.
Yeah, no doubt. That's first and foremost why they're here. I mean, they're all going to be men way longer they're going to play football. I coach Josh McCowan. He played in the National Football League 20 years. It means he was 42 when he retired. He's still going to live longer than he played football, right? He got a lot of living left to do. So we all want to get that degree, and I think, all 3 of my guys back there, Rashad's almost done. The other 2 Frank probably got a few of them. I know Adrian's got his, and Rashad's getting close. So it's a big deal.
Last question.
Jeff, with Day-Day in particular, I know you said you guys got off to a rocky start. What's it been like the last few years to go through that journey and to see where he is now?
Obviously, if I brought him to the press conference, we're doing a lot better now, right? He's my guy. He's the heart and soul of our defense. So goes Adrian Taylor, so goes our defense. He's a warrior. I know he's too little and yada, 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 yada from Shiner, Texas, whatever. Watch him play. Dude can play. He's a great, great kid. Young man, apologize, Day-Day. And really proud of that degree. I mean, he just made a 9 on his exam last week. And, it's impressive, man. I'm proud of it.
All right, Coach. Good luck on Friday.
Thank y'all. God bless. Birds up.
Thank you, Coach.
Stop. All right, guys. Just kind of start off. How has this week been so far? How was last night? How excited are you to do some of these events here at Universal this week?
Pretty excited. It's fun. It's fun. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been, so it's really amazing to see all the different things that happen.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's a unique experience. I've never been here either, so I think tomorrow we get to go to the theme park, and I'm like a little kid out there having some fun.
Yeah, it's been very fun thus far. We only been here about for a day, but I've had a blast already, and I'm excited to go through these next few days and see what else the park has and try out some more food.
What's your Which of these rides you guys looking forward to the most?
The carousel. I'm injured, so I can't do too much, but I can definitely get on that.
I haven't even really checked the rides out yet, so we're gonna really see tomorrow. See what it is.
Yeah, everybody gotta let us know what rides to ride.
Is there a carousel?
We don't know anything. You can't come because you're not tall enough. So.
All right, we'll open up for questions, and you guys say what your favorite Universal ride is if you're from Orlando.
Frank, just what's the general excitement level with the guys headed into this matchup? It's a top 25 matchup. UTSA's never beat a top 25 team.
Yeah, it's a great test for us. They're very good, very well coached. We're excited for this opportunity. Like you said, we never beat a top 25 team, and it's just going to be a great test for us how they play. Like Coach said earlier, they're similar to us. They're scrappy. We're a great test for us.
We're going to send a left with Matt.
Yeah, was there a moment, sorry, Matt Rochelle, the Orlando Zone. My favorite ride is concession stand. So,
I'm gonna meet you there.
Was there a moment for you guys this year that everything you think just seemed to click, that you knew this was going to be something special? You guys had something special going on this year that you really thought maybe you knew something was going to happen well?
I feel like it was early on. I feel like after the Houston game, it was just a kind of different feeling around the team, the locker room. It was just like, okay, we were this close, but we got to start finishing these games off because over the years, like the big games like BYU, that we kind of let those slip away. And it's just something we focused on finishing those big games against the bigger ranked opponents. So there's going to be another big test for us this Friday.
Cotton asked for the 3-point conversion. All three of you guys can answer if you'd like for this, but obviously Coach has probably been hearing a lot of questions about, changing conferences soon and all that. But from you guys' perspective, having the opportunity to be that last group in this conference to get a chance to win the bowl game, does that resonate with you guys at all? Is that a good one last shot to kind of make your way out here?
I feel like it is. I mean, I feel like we already did that in a way because we left with the conference championship, and I feel like that was a big accomplishment for us, especially not being able to win them earlier in our history of the program. So that's a big accomplishment for us. So being able to, leave as champions, that was a big thing for us.
There's a lot of things left out there for us. Like Coach says, 3 things. Never won a conference. We never won a bowl game, program history. Never finished in the top 25. We never beat a top 25 team. So it's a lot of things out there for us still. And we're going to go out there and put a chip on our shoulder. And like I said, it's going to be a great test for us.
I think to wrap it up, just like what these 2 guys said, all we got to do is go finish. I think that's the biggest thing for us. Leaving the conference like that, they said we finished with the conference championship. It'd be a great thing to go finish with our first bowl win too, especially heading into the new conference, and have that momentum for next season and go in full guns blazing.
Jamie Say, Cure Bowl Radio here in Orlando. My favorite ride is the Hulk. Don't go on it too many times, but it's the Hulk. All right, do it once. This is for Rashad and Adrian. Can you describe Frank as a leader and what he brings to the field for his leadership and his abilities?
I like this question.
No,
Frank's a great leader. He's the only person I've ever seen get up and be at the school every day at the same time, work out in before practice. He does all the little things right, and he does, extras, with a great amount of effort. Being our quarterback, you need someone in that position that leads well, and Frank does that tremendously. Off the field, he's a bit of a kid. Y'all probably noticed that already, but I think that's just what makes Frank Frank. He's unique and definitely somebody that we look up to. I'm glad he's coming back one more.
Like Rashad said, on the field, it's just like I came here with him in 2017, so to see him grow to what he's become, it's been amazing. And he's always been a great ball player, but it's just seeing him add that extra level, it's been crazy to watch. And like you said, off the field, he's a little bit of the joker. He was tickling me over there. I don't know if y'all seen it. Nah, this is my dog, and I love going to war with him. You know what I'm saying? It means more to you when you can go to war with somebody you know what I'm saying, you love that much. You know what I'm saying?
Does the whole team feel that way, Val?
The whole team first.
We gotta take extra care of him. He's a bit old. He needs a lot of care.
And then on the right.
Right here, Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. Rashad, this one's for you. Kind of, obviously, this is the Cure Bowl. Kind of talk about the significance for you, especially in light of unfortunately losing your younger brother to cancer. What this game means to you, and how, given the history that could potentially be made Friday, how much does this mean to you personally?
It means a lot. Just being able to go in there and have the opportunity to make history, for this university. But, just as far as my situation with my brother, it was a great loss for me, especially, that early in my life. I never really dealt with anything that tragic, and, it really hit me hard. Kind of what Kyle was saying from Troy, that's kind of the big reason why, I'm playing the game today, just because, all that motivation and, fight that I seen Bryce go through and have when he was going through what he was. How can you not keep on going and pushing through, when things get hard? So, a win this Friday would mean a lot for sure. But honestly, win, lose, draw, whatever it may be, I think it's just a blessing to be out here and be able to represent a bowl, with these guys and for this university. So it means a lot for sure, regardless of what happens.
Guys, Coach Trailer was saying you talked about dads in the team meeting today. What did you guys take from that conversation, and how have you seen him handle what's obviously a difficult week?
Just love your people while they're here. You know what I'm saying? Just never take anything or anybody for granted, especially your family, because you never know when that time will come.
Yeah, I feel like that's the easy thing to do. Just take the time we have with our people for granted. It's a blessing to be able to, for me to be able to still say that I have both my parents in my life, both my grandparents in my life. Because for some people that may not be the case. Like I said, at times we may take it for granted just because sometimes, they may get on our nerves and may not tell us what we want to hear. But, there's definitely times where I'm like, damn, I wish I could hear Bryce call me fat one more time. So it's just stuff like that you don't really, I feel like at times we don't really appreciate what we have until it's gone. And I think that's pretty big. Just cherish all the time you have, good and bad, and, because they're not going to be here forever.
Gentlemen, I forgot to release, I owe you a ride from Universal. I like Spider-Man. I don't know if it's still there, but it's been that long since I've been there, so there you go. But,
Yeah, I might have to try that one.
Fair enough. But gentlemen, actually, this one's specific for Frank. When it comes to Troy's defense, 8th in the nation, they have stars at each level of the defense. Each possession is probably going to count because they're going to try to probably run the ball on if you look at their stats. How important, how much more pressure does it put on each possession for you guys, and how do you guys prepare for that?
I don't think it adds any pressure to us. We got to go out there, play our brand of football. They're a great defense. They're very scrappy on all cylinders, up front and the back end, and they're very good. I will say that they're top 10 for a reason. It's gonna be a great test for us offensively, but we got to go out there, trust our training, trust the game plan, and go out there and execute. Let everything else take care of itself.
Friends, Sean, we covered you guys for years in high school and had a chance to see your friendship blossom at least from afar. And now, due to name, image, and likeness, we see you guys on TV spots in San Antonio, that kind of stuff. Can you two just talk about your friendship? It looks like you have a great friendship. You guys pick on each other a lot, I know, playfully, that kind of stuff. But for both of you, can you tell me about your friendship? And then once you're done, Adrian, could you tell me your thoughts about their friendship as you see it?
Well, I've been knowing Rashad since I was about, I think, 8. He played in a younger age group with my little cousin. So I've been knowing him for a very long time. His oldest brother went to school with my oldest brother. And, middle school came. I'm an 8th grader, he's a 6th grader. He's like a cool 6th grader because he's hanging out with the 8th grader. So taking him under my wing, making him feel special and stuff like that. But it just kind of progressed that way. When recruiting process came in college, they wanted him to stay home, so I reached out to him. I had a relationship with him outside of football, and just trying to get him at UTSA. So when that came, our relationship just grew, You know, he's like a little brother. I just mess with him all the time, and we have a very unique relationship.
Yeah, Frank's definitely like the annoying big brother for sure. Like just kind of like what he was saying, you know, we've always been around each other, pretty much, you know, since we was younger. Went to the same middle school together. We didn't go to the same high school together because Frank wanted to go to Clemens. But you know, like Frank said, just coming up here, UTSA was my only official that I took, and Frank was my host. You know, maybe that was part of the reason why I decided to come. But you know, our relationship is definitely unique for sure. You know, he picks on me, gets on my nerves, and I try to do the same to him. So I think it's something special and something that, you know, I definitely cherish for sure.
But I feel like they do have a very unique relationship, especially for guys that play on, you know what I'm saying, the opposite sides of the ball. It's very good to see them have the type of relationship they have, man. They've just grown on me. Like they're such good people, and it's just you know what I'm saying, a blessing to be around both of them. So I can't say enough good things about these two, man.
Y'all see us play around a lot, but me and him do go at it at football practice. Seriously, Coach has to tell us to just chill out sometimes. But me and him do go at it.
Frank's a little sensitive, so I'm gonna chill out.
Day, I got a question about the defense. A lot has been talked about Troy's defense this week. Do you guys kind of take that personal as something you guys have to prove?
I don't feel like really taking it personal. I feel like you know, we're a good defense. It's been games where we played very dominant, and then it's been games where sometimes offensive had the way with it. So I feel like it's just there's been times where we could have been ranked really high in the rankings, but you know what I'm saying, just a couple of key plays here or there, and I feel like that messed things up for us. But I feel like that doesn't really affect us. We're just gonna go play defense like we always play defense.
This one's for Frank. You're coming back for a 7th year. Not a lot of guys do that. Kind of maybe I know someone that's tied with NIL. But what's kind of your thought process about coming back to the school and how important it was for you maybe to finish something? You know, when you look at your overall career.
I think it was a great opportunity for me, and I just wasn't ready to move on just yet. The NFL wasn't looking, you know, too convincing for me. I'll just leave it at that, and I think it was a great opportunity for me, like I said. I mean, this is a unique bond that we have with the coaching staff, with my teammates, and it's just something different at UTSA, the culture there. I love being around the guys. I love going out to practice each and every day and playing for the city of San Antonio, representing UTSA as a university. So it's just the best thing for me, and I just love going out there, and I'm just privileged to represent San Antonio. So this is a no-brainer for me to come back just one more season while I can.
And then, guys, just to wrap it up, just think about what this game means, being able to play for something like bringing awareness to cancer research, trying to find a cure for cancer.
Well, my grandma died of cancer, and my aunt did too. So just being able to play for something like this is going to be very big for me, and it's my last collegiate game, so it's even that much more.
Yeah, my grandpa passed from cancer, and you know, Bryce passed from cancer as well. So it's just something that we gotta try to figure something out. So bringing awareness to it and trying to find some research for it. I mean, it's only gonna help us in the future. Like everybody's been saying, everybody's been affected with somebody in their lifetime, with some form of cancer. So I think it's a unique bowl. Definitely appreciate everything that this bowl, you know, provides. And we're just honored to go out there and represent this bowl.
I think it takes a village. It's going to take all of us to, you know, come together and try to figure out, you know, this thing called cancer and, you know, fight it together. You know, we can't do it as just individual people, but as one. You know, and just being able to be a part of this bowl, I feel like is really big, and you know, I'm just glad that we're able to be a part of it, especially with everything that's happened in my life, and other people that I know have been affected by it too. You know, I feel like something eventually has to give. So I feel like that's really on us to do it, and it's going to take one step at a time. But you know, just moving in the right direction, moving forward is, you know, what we need to do.
Thanks, guys, and good luck on Friday.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen.